Welcome along for another EVenture in our Nissan Leaf. Today we're driving from Nelson, heading out north along the lake to the main lake, and we're going to go north to Kaslo, and then from Kaslo we're going to head up over the pass and down into New Denver, and then from New Denver back along the lake to Nelson. So join us on this nice day circle tour of about 200 kilometers. We included all the North Shore part of the lake in the previous video, so you can just go have a look at that as we went out to Crawford Bay and across the ferry. Now we're north of Balfour here, heading to Kaslo, and we're coming around Coffee Creek. There's a really fun turny section all through here. There's motorcycles that come specifically to ride along the lakes and up and down our roads here. They're pretty fun. I haven't seen any of the zero motorcycles here yet, but I hope to see some maybe this year or next year. Sooner the better anyways, once we get the charging infrastructure to support them, which should be coming very soon. Along the way we pass the small hamlet of Ainsworth Hotsprings. There's a bunch of people who live here. There's some hotels, restaurant, and of course awesome hot springs with really cool caves. You can go back and relax inside. And this is the exit water coming out that's made it all orange there. It goes right down to the lake. Now we're heading along the lake again, and boy, the Purcell Mountains on the east side of the lake are just gorgeous. Totally awesome views of them on this drive. That's iconic Mount Loki, which you can really get a good view of from Kaslo as well.
I'm in the car while traveling. Oh, poor baby marmot.
We're just coming down into Kaslo now, and right above Kaslo is an old Forest Service lookout site called Mount Buchanan that actually has the entire site been restored with period artifacts from about 1950 or so. It's a really neat drive up there. Hope to take, maybe not the Leaf because there's not quite enough clearance on this car, but you know, maybe the Kia Niro that's coming out next year, or maybe a new Nissan or the Tesla Model Y 2018 or so. Love to take it up to the top of that viewpoint there. And so we're just rolling into Kaslo now. We're going to head down to the campground and charge up for a little bit while we're visiting the SS Moyie.
So we're now in Kaslo. I've got my adapter and my open EVSE, which lets me use 30 amp campground spot. Set up for 24 amp right now. Go ahead and plug it in, Setter. Use my plug drainer. There we go. That's all ready to charge. Off it goes. And this is a beautiful campground. Right in, just down from downtown Kaslo, right on the beach. Good view of the mountains, some shady spots. This is the SS Moyie, one of the longest running stern wheelers that used to go on Kootenay Lake. Well worth the trip to Kaslo. It's got awesome period era artifacts on it to look at, and all sorts of stories about how it worked. It's pretty fancy. It'd be pretty cool to go up and down the lake on one of those things.
The SS Moyie is a restored steam stern wheeler, and this is the electrical panel from it. And this is the ladies' saloon. I'm not going to show you any more pictures because I want you to come and see it for yourself. So make sure you take the trip up to Kaslo and have a look at that. Kaslo's also got some restored turn-of-the-century buildings. Not as many as Nelson, of course, but still has quite a few worth checking out. So it's a really cute little town. I really encourage you to make the trip to Kaslo. Now we're heading out of Kaslo, up over the pass, over to New Denver.
Here's the sound of the Kaslo River.
It's one of the coolest things about this car is, you know, on side country roads when you're doing kind of 40 to 60 kilometers an hour, you can just roll the window down and listen to the sounds of everything around you. You can hear the birds chirping and the river running and wind in the grass. It's pretty cool to be able to hear that. So it's another advantage for electric cars.
We have our own wee puppy dog.
Many neat waterfalls that come down and go right underneath the road. Fun to look at. And we're just coming around the corner now to an old ghost town called Retallack, and there is a Catskiing operation by the same name that operates just up the hill from here now. It's a really fun place. And there's also a forest walk through some old growth forest. So we stopped and stretched our legs and went for a walk through this old growth cedar and hemlock forest. And there are some really big ones in here, so this is one of the biggest ones we found. Back on the road again and just over the pass, we're having a good look at the Goat Mountain Range here, and we're just about to start on the descent down into New Denver. And just as you get coming around the corner from that lake that we just saw, you can all of a sudden see the New Denver Glacier, which is high above the town. And we're just coming around the corner here from the turnoff to Sandon. And if you go to Sandon, it's a neat old ghost town where there's a few people that still live, and you can go up that hill there, and there's a beautiful hike up there called Idaho Peak. And it's not, you know, it's a bit of a long drive to get up, but it's a fairly well-maintained road. We could take the Leaf up there, I think, and it's a really great hike. Some neat eclectic accommodations right in New Denver.
New Denver is a very nice spot to come and visit. Gorgeous campground. We're in the nicely treed section with the nice grass to play on right by the lake. Nice beach. We are currently just here for a day trip, charging up. And when you're 4 and 7, or 5 and 7 I guess, it's no problem to find something to do while you're waiting for the car. All you need are some sticks, rocks, and 1 or 2 sandbox toys. We're going to come back in about a month and camp here for a few nights in a row. And the second day we're here, we're going to drive up almost to the top of that place, Idaho Peak, and then we'll hike to the little hut you can see at the very tip. And that's an old Forest Service lookout tower for fires.
Marley and her mom were off at the local Nikkei Internment Center, which is where a bunch of Japanese people were interned during World War II, up from the lower mainland and other parts of the province. And this is a good museum of what their life was like during that time period. A period in Canada's history that's not the greatest, but worth checking out when you're in the area. So we charged a bit in New Denver while Marley and her mom were in the Nikkei Internment Center, and the boys and I hung out at the lake. We're now just through the next town called Silverton, which is really close to New Denver, and we're starting to head back. It's later in the afternoon now, so we're going to get some spectacular views out over Slocan Lake here as we drive along the shores of Slocan Lake and look at the Valhalla mountain range. on the west side. There's a whole canoe trip with campsites you can do down the west side of the lake. We've done part of it and it's just amazing. We're now south of the lake into the Slocan Valley. So the Slocan River drains out of the Slocan Lake and winds its way down through the idyllic Slocan Valley, through the little town of Winlaw and Passmore and Slocan Park. And there's a few other little townships in there as well. And it's a beautiful, beautiful area. Lots of semi-rural, rural properties, people with organic farms and bakeries and gin distillery. There's a whole lot of different activities that are happening out in the Slocan Valley now. If you're at all interested in, doing some things back to the land and the gorgeous scenery through here. Slocan Park here now, up to the junction with the main highway between Nelson and Castlegar. And now we're just passing the Nelson Hydro Dam. That's where all the electricity for my car comes from every night when I plug it in. And now coming back into Nelson from the Castlegar side. A really good view of town from there.